Thanks for tuning in to Mandolin. Today, taking a look at What a Wonderful World from Louis Armstrong. 1967. I thought it was a little older than that. I was kind of surprised looking this up. 1967. Today's video, it's a viewer suggestion from Dr. Triggerfish, who suggested it and sent me his own arrangement of it, which was really nice and really got the juices flowing on this one. I had a Kiss thing all ready to go, which I'll get back to, but I was really into recording this one and getting this up right away. A little business, of course, before we get going. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe down below. Mandolin, doing a lot of these lessons and reviews and tutorials and stuff like that. I, of course, put PayPal thing down at the bottom there if you're getting something out of the lessons and can kick the channel a buck or two, which sure be appreciated. And of course, have the Mandolin store with the t-shirts and hoodies and stickers and stuff. Alright, let's check out here. What a Wonderful World. Alright, we all know the song, of course, but here's the arrangement we're learning today. Alright, so the intro is just two chords, F and G minor 7. The F is 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the D, and 1st fret up on the high E string. The other chord is 3rd, 1st, and 3rd. So he's going to go back and forth between those 4 times. And it's time for the verse, first verse. Alright, see, a verse is going to start out with this little phrase, pick up notes, leading into an F chord, 5th fret of the G string, 2nd fret of the D, and leading up into the 3rd fret of the D. And then just when you hit that, reach up here and grab the 2nd fret of the G. below it. So you got that F note there, F chord. You go to an A minor chord, basic A minor, second, and third on the A string. And make sure you really hear that because that's your melody note, that third fret there on the A string. I like to slide up into this, grab the second to the third fret on the G string, leading into a B flat chord, which is just third fret barred here, third on the G, third on the D, and then fifth on the A. It leads back down into that A minor again, right where you just came from. One more time. Kind of the bottom part of that G minor 7 chord. Open G, third fret here on the D string, and first fret on the A string. From here I'm picking up, I'm letting go of this down to the A and moving this open G up to the 5th fret. One more time. And then up to an A7, which is 6th fret of the G, 5th fret of the D, and that open A. And into, coming down here back into an F, which was the 2nd fret of the G string, 3rd fret of the D string, then that open A. So one more time. Now a little variation I like to do a lot here. Coming off the, rather than just going I like to I'll pick through these. You know, rather than just going same chord changes. Do them however, you know, you feel like at the time. But a lot of times I'll pick through them. Either way, whatever you feel like at the time. So here's what we've got so far. From here we're going into this C sharp chord. 1st fret of the G string, 3rd fret of the D, and 4th fret of the A. So here, one more time, we come off this. Just lay it right in there, hit it 3 times. Because you know the melody, it's just going in your head as you're playing through this, and it's the said to myself line. Little chord, I forget what this is, but it's just 1st fret of the A string, 1st fret of the E string. You know, super, and then the open there, open D. and into a C7, third, second, third. So here's everything up to what we got there so far. I mean, not including the intro, just this whole first verse. A little melody right here. From the 3rd fret, pulling off to the 2nd fret. You're going back to the 3rd fret, to the 5th fret, and your melody is going to be that open A. But you're going to play that open A within an F chord, which is 5th of the G string, 3rd of the D string, and 1st up here. And then the all-important open A in the middle. So, one more time there. Alright, so if you're caught up to there, here, I'll just show you what this the little phrase we're getting ready to play is, because it sounds out of context if I just play that chord by itself. But there's a little pattern right here that goes. A little 3-chord change, and that's just the first one. It's just a B7 chord with a high G stuck on top of it. So 2nd, 1st, 2nd on the A, and 3rd up there. And just arpeggiate it, just pick all the notes. Oop. Then we're going to a, what is a C major 7. Just 3rd fret of the G and of the D there, and barred of the 5th fret of the top 2 strings. Bar the 3rd fret of the bottom 2, 5th fret of the top 2. And then again, pick your way up through it. So you've got and then just a C7, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, and open. And the open is the melody, so make sure you hit that good. Alright, so that takes us quite a ways into it. So here's everything up till there. Now it just repeats again. You know, that whole first melody. The only time it varies is when it gets right there at the end. Instead of the melody going up to that A, it comes down, back down to the F here and resolves. It's 3rd, 2nd, 5th, 3rd. So that takes it all the way up to the, I guess what would be the chorus. So let's check that out. All right, so we're coming right off that. want to go to a B flat chord for just a couple beats there. 3rd fret of the G and barring the 1st fret of the top 2 strings. Back to our F chord. And we're going to go up to a C chord. But it's going to have this open G and the 5th fret of the D string and 3rd of the A. And then reach up and grab the 5th fret of the G. The colors of the line. We're going to go back down here. Think of our F chord. Only if you take the 1st finger and move it from the E string up to the A string. So use the 5th fret here, 3rd, and the 1st on the A string. And then take it off. Reach up with your pinky, grab the 6th fret, and then back to the open A. That makes sense. Hope I'm explaining that all right. I'm trying to get my fingers out of the way so you can see what I'm doing while at the same time, actually playing the thing. So you do that twice, right? Open A, 3rd fret A, into this big D minor, 2nd fret of the G, 3rd of the D, and 5th on the A string. Down into our basic C chord, 2-finger C. Doing that again. 3rd time, instead of going down to the C, comes up into this kind of part of a diminished chord. 5th fret of the G string, 4th of the D, and open A. Coming down here to part of our G minor 7, kind of from the beginning. Open G, 3rd fret of the D, and most importantly, 1st fret of the A. So we're going to come from here, back down to our little diminished chord, 5th, 4th, and open. And end on what is a C7. But it's just all the strings barred on the 3rd fret with your pointer finger, and then the only note you hit is that 5th fret here on the D string. Everything else is the 3rd. But this is really important because that's the melody, is what we're walking down. Whoops. For the last verse, you could just come back down and just do it like the first two, which would be fine and sound great, and of course nothing wrong with that. I like to do, just to mix it up, I'll do that third one. I like to do it an octave higher. That is, if I just started down here in the C note, 3rd fret, A string, open E string, and to our friend Mr. F chord, but really leaning hard on that root note there. The A minor is way up here in the 7th fret, barred in the 7th fret, middle 2 strings, and the 8th fret of the high E. Scoot everything up 1, gonna go to the B flat, barring the middle 2 strings on the 8th fret, and then the 10th fret here on the high E. And then right back to the minor we just came from. Take this and just scoot everything down 2 frets, barring the middle 2 at the 5th fret and the 6th string there. And drop it down to the 3rd. We're just walking down, barring on the 3rd and the 5th. And lastly is the 3rd fret of the high E string and the 2nd fret of the D and the open A between them. And resolve it with just the 1st fret on the E and then everything, the other 2 open below. So that whole little thing there, it sounds like a lot, but it's just the same pattern as before. Minor, the minor, major. One more time. Right into our C sharp from before. Just probably easiest. Just bar all the strings across the 1st fret and just play, you know, that C shape 3rd and 4th here respectively. But make sure you're catching that high E string underneath it. Just like before, laying our finger in the 1st fret of the A and E strings. It sounds like so much as I say all this. This is not a difficult song. There's a lot of notes, but they don't go by fast or anything. Down to that C7 chord. So all this instead of doing it down here, 1st fret, pulling off to the open, back to the 1st, 3rd, and the 5th fret. And we'll lay these 2 notes underneath it, just to bar in the middle 2 strings. It's just, you know, another form of F chord there. Middle 2 and the 5th fret of the high E. And then just for tension and effect, as we're coming off this, we can make that into like a suspended or almost diminished chord, where we just take our bottom note and raise it up 1 fret. So if we're here with 3rd, 3rd, and 5th, we'll just go 4th, 3rd, and 5th. I hit that 3 times. We're so close to the end here. So I slide from the 5th up to the 6th, back into that little minor shape where we've barred the middle 2 strings. And it's a G minor. And got the 6th fret here in the top. Walking that melody down from the 6th, 3rd, 5th, 1st. Little chord changes, just the same, the chord from the very beginning of the intro. G minor 7, 3rd, 1st, and 3rd, this one. To a C7. And then the last resolving melody. Just pulling that 1st fret open, 3rd, and then just to finish off, the real song throws this little change in. And then I like to add so we've come off the note. Chord here, just barring the 3rd fret all the way across with our pointer finger, and playing the 5th fret of the A string on top of that. Back to our F note, B flat minor, which is 3rd, 3rd, 4th, 6th. And then we'll slide way up to our F, barring 10th, 10th, 12th, and 13th, respectively. I hope I didn't make that last part seem too complicated, because it's not.